Let me tell you something. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of those books I truly wish I had read when I was 14 or 15 years old. Tremendous book. Very powerful. If I had read it that young, believe me, things would have happened much faster. I strongly recommend reading the book, or at least watching this video, because today I'm giving you a full breakdown of all 7 key lessons. And let me warn you, a lot of people don't like these lessons. Why? Because they expose the truth, and people hate the truth. Now let's begin with lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. This story is incredible. When Robert was 9 years old, he and his childhood friend Mike were not invited to a classmate's beach house. Why? Because they were poor kids. That stays with you, being excluded, being looked down on. I've seen it many times. Robert went home and asked his father a simple question. How do I become rich? His father replied, you have to learn how to make more money. Sounds reasonable? Sounds polite? Completely useless? Even as a kid, Robert knew that advice would not make him rich. Robert's father, the man he later called his poor dad, was a teacher. Good job, good income, respected, yet always struggling financially. Seeing how serious the boys were, poor dad suggested they talk to Mike's father, later known as Rich Dad. Here's what's interesting. Rich Dad was not rich yet. He didn't even finish 8th grade, but he ran multiple successful businesses. I love that. They met him, and the first thing Rich Dad asked was simple. Are you ready to learn how to make money? They nodded. Then Rich Dad made them an offer. He would teach them, but not in a classroom, only if they worked for him. He explained that sitting and listening, like in school, was a waste of time. You learn faster by doing. Robert wanted to ask questions, but Rich Dad stopped him. He said, if you can't decide quickly, you'll never make money. Opportunities come and go. Knowing when to act matters. They agreed. Rich Dad offered 10 cents an hour, 3 hours every Saturday. Terrible pay. On purpose. Robert skipped a softball game because he knew this was an opportunity. They worked at one of Rich Dad's grocery stores run by Mrs. Martin. No air conditioning, doors open to the road, dust everywhere. Their job was to dust canned goods and restack them. Mind-numbingly boring. 3 hours every Saturday. 30 cents total. One comic book cost 10 cents. They weren't doing it for money. They were there to learn. After 3 weeks, Robert was furious. He felt like a slave. He hadn't even seen Rich Dad again. During lunch in the 4th week, Robert told Mike he was quitting. But Mike smiled. Rich Dad expected this. Mike explained his father said to meet Robert when he was ready to quit. That made Robert even angrier. But Rich Dad taught through experience, not lectures. Robert agreed to meet him. Even Poor Dad was upset. He told Robert to demand a raise or quit. When Robert arrived, Rich Dad made him wait 45 minutes. Already frustrated. When Rich Dad appeared, Robert exploded. He accused him of being greedy and breaking his promise to teach. Rich Dad calmly asked, does teaching mean talking? Robert nodded. And Rich Dad delivered the lesson. Life is the best teacher. And life doesn't talk. It pushes. Some people let life push them around. Others fight the wrong things. Only a few learn from the push. Rich Dad explained he had over 150 employees. Yet none asked to learn about money. They only wanted paychecks. So he recreated real life. He paid them 10 cents an hour to create frustration. When asked what he learned, Robert complained again. Rich Dad explained something critical. Most people quit and look for higher pay. That never fixes the problem. Waiting for a raise doesn't solve broken thinking. The solution is learning how to make money work for you. Then Rich Dad shocked them. He stopped paying them. They would work for free. Robert was confused. He wanted a raise. But Rich Dad said, if you want more money, use your head. They worked 3 weeks for free. Then Rich Dad took them for ice cream. He asked if they learned anything. They said no. Rich Dad told them to look around. At workers, at people in the park, working hard, waiting for weekends, hoping for vacations and pensions decades away. Then he made offers. 25 cents an hour, $1 an hour, $2 an hour. At $2, Robert imagined being the richest kid, new bike, New glove, admiration. They said no. Then Rich Dad offered $5 an hour. And suddenly, the temptation disappeared. Rich Dad explained everyone has a needy part of their soul and a part that can't be bought. Most people are controlled by fear and greed. Fear makes them work, greed makes them spend. That's the rat race. There is another way. The boys learned it by working for free. They spotted an opportunity, a comic book library. Kids paid 10 cents to read unlimited comics. Mike's sister ran it. They earned about $9.50 per week for 3 months. They learned the lesson: the rich do not work for money. Lesson 2. Why teach financial literacy? When asked how he got rich, Robert gives the same answer Rich Dad gave him. If you want to be rich, become financially literate. Accounting is boring, confusing, but essential. Rich Dad explained one concept. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. That's it. Most people don't understand this. They buy liabilities thinking they are assets. A rental property is an asset. A personal home is a liability. This doesn't mean never buy a house. It means buy assets first. Wealth is how long you can survive without working. When assets cover expenses, you're wealthy. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Ray Kroc said he wasn't in the hamburger business. He was in real estate. McDonald's owns some of the most valuable land on earth. Your profession is not your business. Your business is your asset column. Build it quietly. Build it steadily. Lesson 4. Taxes and corporations. Taxes were meant to be temporary, until they weren't. They targeted the rich but crushed the middle class. Why? Because the rich use corporations. Corporations reduce taxes and protect wealth. The rich know the rules. Lesson 5. The rich invent money. Your mind is your greatest asset. Robert bought a $75,000 house for $20,000, $2,000 down, sold it minutes later for $60,000. $40,000 created in 5 hours. Ideas create money. Fear keeps most people on the sidelines. Lesson 6. Work to learn, not for money. Talented people struggle because they lack key skills. Sales, marketing, systems. Learn broadly. More skills mean more freedom. Lesson 7. Overcoming obstacles. Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits. The rich lose money but stay in the game. Cynics criticize. Winners analyze. Ask, how can I afford it? Pay yourself first. Pressure creates progress. That's why Rich Dad Poor Dad still matters. It doesn't comfort you. It rewires you. And once you see opportunities, you see them forever.